qualifier at 8 of 11 events, off like a rocket this season. He's won 3 times. He has 5 Mission Too Fast, 2 Tasty wins, including 4 straight, and he has swept the weekend, meaning #1 qualifier, Mission wins, and a race win twice. Jordan Vandergriff is with Austin Prock, the hottest driver at Nitro Funny Car.
Mission Foods 2 Fast, 2 Tasty winner. And coming into today as #1 qualifier, Austin Prock is dominating Seattle so far. Austin, what's going to take from somebody to stop your little streak you're on?
Well, it's been a great weekend so far, but we just got to keep racing our race car, and the competition can do the same. So we did ourselves a favor by qualifying #1 this weekend. We get a bye first round, so we can do a little testing and tuning in this Chevy Camaro SS, sponsored by Cornwell Tools. So I'm looking forward to today, feeling good. The team's vibing, and we'll see how our cards fall.
And Tony is on Nitro Funny Cars.
Nitro Funny Car includes Ford, Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota that design and engineer the aerodynamic carbon fiber body that provide well over 5,000 pounds of downforce towards the rear of the body to allow for traction under acceleration. The front, just forward of the injector opening on the body, will generate over 2,500 pounds of downforce to not allow any lift and slip through the air to allow speeds nearing 340 miles per hour in 8,000 feet.
And now let's take a look at our starting lineup for round 1.
Racing, the points leader, Austin Prock. Raceways, before we fire up these funny cars, I want to tell you 5:15, that is 1 hour and 18 minutes from now, top fuel final qualifying. So while we still have funny car, and then pro stock, and then pro stock motorcycle, and a reminder for our Lucas Oil competitors, stock and super comp, we will be calling you to lanes here pretty shortly. Once we get into pro stock, I'd imagine we'll start bringing you up here as well. So Austin Prock takes Cornwell Quality Tools, Flavor Pack, JFR into it.
Wow! I told you 395,
Make that
but
6th consecutive final in the Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. He has won the last 3. He has now been to the finals in 6 consecutive. Taking a look at the instant replay brought to you by the 70th anniversary of the U.S. Nationals. It's Tasca off the line first by 0.02 of a second. They were pretty even to 60 feet. I do not believe Bob had a bite of anything down there. But that car spun the tires about 500 feet. Austin's car wagged the tail a little later, and he's able to drive it on through to a 398, 318 miles per hour. Put Chevrolet And Cornwell Tools into the final, and a manufacturer representative from each of the big J&A Services, KB Racing Team, KB Titan Racing Team.
Prock, the crew chief, making one last adjustment. The only question here, Tony, is how low can this car go?
Well, they're more than likely going to test being the first car out. They're not so much concerning themselves right now with their second round opponent.
Right down the gut, 383.8 at 331.85 miles an hour. Austin Prock has once again brought the Thunder the identical elapsed time that he qualified number one with.
Look, there's no pressure coming into this single. They earned it. They were the number one qualifier, and this is a full send run right here. The conditions are similar in terms of the track temperature and the amount of grip. However, we do have some cloud cover. We have better air, so there were adjustments that they had to make, and they seem to adjust well.
We caught up with Austin Prock for this week's Revzilla Behind the Visor, and it's a great chat with a great young man in the pits. One of the most compelling stories of the 2024 NHRA season involves Austin Prock stepping into the Nitro Funny Car category and doing so and driving like he's had a decade of experience. And it's only fitting we catch up with Austin in the pits here at Pacific Raceways. 2019, one of the most joyful and chaotic days of your life came. You won Top Fuel the same day. John Force won his 150th Funny Car race.
Yeah, that was really special. You know, to watch John do that in front of me, it definitely put a lot of pressure on me. I remember it like yesterday, and Torrance was up there. We were playing games with each other, and the veteran got the best of the rookie there, but we ended up turning the light on. So, yeah, that was a really special day. You know, you'll never forget your first win in any category. Never forget my first Funny Car win in Phoenix, or Bradenton, really. Yeah, that was a really special day. Me and John, we've had a pretty good track record of doing awesome stuff on the same day or same weekend, so I hope we can keep that going in the future.
Explosion will cost this team, Prock's team. You can see them checking the top of the intake manifold for flatness and straightness. When they bolt their supercharger on, they want and need a perfect seal. The Cornwell Quality Tools look here. We're talking about Austin Prock, our Ram road to the finals. Austin got here, and boy, it has not been by mistake.
Well, it started by being the quickest car in every qualifying session, but he was awarded this first round solo. Of course, they took full advantage of it. Laid up? Not really. They matched their qualifying effort under this overcast sky in the first round.
They made the clock sweat. That thing was so fast. That was the only thing they punished there. Austin Prock and Cruz Pedregon. Now, Cruz Pedregon's car began to show real promise, some real signs of life after a set of doldrums to start the season, and he made a good run, but just not enough to hang with him. 388.
One blink from this team, and that snap-on car could have driven around him. But again, a good rebound for that team. They found the performance getting into the second round. They just happened to run across the hottest driver on the circuit over the last several races.
J.R. Todd went full ninja on the starting line against Austin Prock with a reaction time that is seldom seen or even spoken about in Funny Car with an 0.45 light. But it was once again that hairy-chested 388 Ford to take the victory.
Yeah, and you can see that they rebounded greatly, or rather nicely, from their previous round. They came into that matchup with the performance disadvantage, which they don't really see those situations often.
He's done measuring nitro, and now Austin's with Bruno. A clutch, in general terms, in drag racing works. It's a big metal sandwich.
Yeah, and of course you have the engine that makes all the power. The clutch is going to transmit the power to those rear tires, and it's going to apply clutch when the tuner sets the timers and the flow controls. There's also a series of counterweight on the clutch, so initially it is launching off the starting line with 6 primary levers. That is what's going to accelerate the car. The cannon that I spoke about earlier is going to start to move back. As it moves back, it allows these multi-stage lockup levers to start to squeeze the clutch together, and as that clutch squeezes, it's applying more and more power to those rear tires. You do it too soon, too much application too soon, it breaks those rear tires loose. You can slip the clutch, you can slow it down, and the car's going to run slow. So the balance is the tuner is trying to make the right decisions and trying to apply clutch in the right places.
And the clutch, of course, controlled by those miniature or minute amounts of weight as it first begins to move the car off the starting line. Their engine's warmed up. Now we're going to go to a live warm-up. Austin Prock's crew, we saw him dump the supercharger on top of that baby a few minutes ago, and now Jimmy Prock to the left of the engine, the crew chief standing by the injector hat. is overseeing its warm-up.
Yeah, the first thing he's looking at, there's a digital dash. He's going to take a peek at the oil pressure to make sure that it has 60 pounds, 80 pounds, whatever their target is. Next, he's looking at the engine idle. The target there is about 2,600 RPM. He's going to look at every cylinder, what the temperature is. Right now, he's got the timing light checking the advance on the cam. And, you know, of course, everyone else is giving a visual to make sure there's no fuel leaks. He's also going to peek at, you know, there's a flow valve reading on that digital dash. So many functions that he's trying to monitor. And of course, the driver, he's going to roll the car forward. He's going to put it in reverse and make sure that all of the forward and reverse gears, as well as the clutch, not only feels right, functions right. You can see him going in forward, going reverse, but he's also going to get a good feel and make sure that the clutch pedal is adjusted properly.
So this team is just about ready to put a body on as the car throws some header flames out of the pits. When we come back, we have more action to show you on the racetracks and some of our other NHRA categories, as well as a visit with Paul Lees, whose team will be combating this one.
You can go a few rounds at the World Series of Poker.
Yes.
Because this is much a mental game. It's not so much physical. But Paul Lee, he's proven to his competition that he can handle pressure, never at this level, never in the final round. But he has to know that he has a good machine, and this is a great opportunity for him.
And Chase Van Zandt just showed that the seemingly impossible can happen to somebody who has a 0 next to their name in the win column. So the angry, cackling Nitro Funny Cars have completed their burnout. 7 career victories for Austin Prock. 3 in the funny car category. Paul Lee has not carded one of these national events yet, and that McLeod Clutches, Cornwell Tools, FTI Performance, Silver Sport Transmissions machine. As a driver, you've lived this. You won 43 national events. This moment when the body's up, what's going through your mind?
Complete focus. I think for Paul Lee, he has to be thinking just one more. He's here. I think he's trying to seize the moment. It's interesting that there was about a 5 to 7 differential in the amount of time that that Paul Lee did his burnout versus when Austin Prock, and they timed these cars from start to finish to when they want the driver to stage. In 5 to 7 seconds, you're talking maybe about a gallon of fuel. A gallon of fuel is about 8 points, so I'm sure it was by design, but I just think it's interesting that both of them have a slightly different run time.
The final of Nitro Funny Car at the Northwest Nationals. Tire smoke for Paul Lee and a win light for Austin Prock. Man, this kid is just unbelievable. A 69 reaction time. His brother Thomas pumps his fist. 387.5 at 334.57 miles an hour. It is a bulldozer, man. That is a bulldozer.
It really is, and you can't hardly fault Paul Lee and their team for getting too aggressive, but watch how they stage, and this is a sign of experience. This is just one of the tactics. This is a mental technique that some drivers can use, and it's called deep staging. Now take a look right there for Paul Lee. He's going to roll that car in a little bit more than Austin Prock, and he's shortening the track. But what he also did was he knocked the top light out in maybe an attempt to create a little bit of a distraction for Austin Prock. It didn't work. He has seen that. There have been many that have tried, but he's just got so much confidence right now. And take a look at Paul Lee. It's a good starting line leave, pretty aggressive, but there it is right there at that 330-foot orange block. Just before that, his car just loses traction, and that is a product of just being too much, or rather being too aggressive with the clutch. We talked about that during the pit service. They are going to adjust some flows, maybe put some more lockup or counterweight on that clutch. And it's that decision, it's that weight that actually accelerates the car. When it works, the car moves. When it doesn't, it ends up in smoke.
Jordan Vandergriff is with Jimmy Prock.
Jimmy Prock, back-to-back wins, a clean sweep of Seattle. Are you guys the title favorite this year?
No, I don't know. I don't worry about that right now. You know, everything's going to change here in a few races, and you know, we just have to keep doing what we're doing. And you know, the last 6 races are going to decide it, not as much as what goes on right now.
Good.
I don't think the guy worries about much of anything. He's not worried about that. He's not worried about much. You can see the folks from Cornwell Tools on the property this weekend. You always want to have the delivery of a victory in front of the main sponsor of your race car. There's another medal. There's another cap. And here comes another conversation with Bruno Massel.
For a rookie funny car driver, he is getting all too accustomed to this whole procedure down here as he claims his 4th funny car title. You know, Austin Prock, you and I talked back in the pits, and you said, I've been 60, 70 on the tree, and you said, I just need to do my job. You did just that. You won 69. You trusted the car, and you trusted your dad and your brother to give you that Wally here today. How good is it to know that you've got those two men in your corner each and every time you stage up?
It's amazing, man. There's nothing better than racing for family and racing for John Force. We didn't just win today. We doubled up with John Force again here in Seattle. He told me before I got in here, he said, hold the fort down for me, and we did just that. So just an amazing day. Another great day for this Cornwell Tools Chevrolet Camaro SS. I mean, this year's just been unreal, man. I can't even put into words all the success that we've had. It's just been a blur, and I've just been hanging on, and I wasn't leaving that great all weekend, but I sure was consistent. I was 67, 67, 69, 69. So all stayed shallow, and man, whoa!
John, if you are watching, and we certainly hope you are, the operation's in pretty good hands right now. Austin Prock will celebrate with the family and the team tonight. It'll be short-lived because they will be on the road to Sonoma, California.